Hello, everyone. How many of you are like me? I don't think 5, 10 minutes goes by before someone mentions AI or an AI tool, or I get an email, or I open up YouTube and there's another video like, this is the AI tool you need. I thought today would be a good way to just say, yes, AI is great and it can help save us all a lot of time. But you have to use it as a baseline or as an assistant. These tools that are there can do some great tasks for you. But as a company, you've got to go back over anything that they generate, any type of data they put together. You've got to look it over and make sure it's accurate. And then if they're generating content for you, does it sound like your specific brand? Is it within the guidelines of your mission? And is it helping you achieve your goals? So I thought for these few minutes, I would talk about what we're doing in-house, what AI tools we're using in-house, how are we using them, just to give you a few ideas of how you can utilize these tools. And then what I'll do is after this gets posted, I will put any of the URLs that I mentioned, or if I have a contact person, I'll put that information in the comments below so you can look it up. So first, Chat GPT. We've all talked about it, heard about it. Maybe we fiddled about it. Maybe we went in there and asked Chat GPT, where should I go on vacation? Or how should I write that thank you note to my great uncle who gave me this unique gift? Whatever you want to use and however you go in to fiddle with Chat GPT, I'm all for it. Go in there and fiddle away. But for my industrial brands that I work with, I have found it to be very useful with researching. Now, in B2B and industrial marketing, you've got to really know and understand your audience in order to create emails or social media posts that really resonate with them. So the first thing I do is when I go into Chat GPT, and so that's an open AI platform. And like I said, I'll put all the URLs in the comments after this is over. I go in there, and if there's a piece of equipment or a program that I'm trying to promote, I'll go in and find out what industries would be interested in this piece of equipment, what title would buy these pieces of equipment. And then I dig deeper of what magazines are about or for the people that will buy these pieces of equipment. What conferences do they go to? I just dig. You keep digging and digging and digging so that you can really understand that audience. But then you also know what sources to go after for marketing channels. Do they have an email list to use? Maybe you do an e-newsletter banner with them. You advertise with them in some way because now you know it's been confirmed that your target audience is on that list. So I use Chat GPT a lot for researching about equipment. And then sometimes I will say to it, could you put together a quick email to people like this who might be interested in an HPLC machine or a CNC machine or a 3D printer? And it'll put together an email. And of course, it's only a baseline. I know I keep stressing that, but really, it's only a baseline because then you do have to tweak it so it sounds like your brand and it sounds like you. So with ChatGPT, we research it. It can create you an email promotion piece. You can then say, what would be 10 great social media posts for LinkedIn? about the same piece of equipment geared towards mechanical engineers, you know, definitely put that, because as how you would speak to an engineer is different than how you would speak to a CEO. So the more information you put into Chat GPT, the better the responses that you get back out. And that's why if you are looking at it to cultivate content for you, like I said, just a baseline of content, the more information you put in, the better that piece of content will be. And you can always go and refine it. You might have a great piece of content already in-house. And what you can do is you can go into Chat GPT and say, can you give this a fresh professional uplift, facelift, basically, put semicolons, and then copy and paste that whole previous content piece right there. What it does is it goes through and it rewrites it. It just gives it a fresh look. It's still your words and your thoughts, but a little bit different. Or maybe it has a really tricky hook at the beginning that really pulls the people in. And you can even tell it saying, I created this great content piece. What would be the best conclusion to get these people to click on whatever your offer might be, this webinar, to click to see more about this piece of equipment, to register for this program? Tell ChatGPT what you want these people to do, the action you want them to take, and make sure that it creates the content that does that, that gets them to take that next step. And it's very descriptive, because we know that when you're doing industrial or B2B marketing, you need to speak to the people as if you're reading their mind. And when you do that, that's when they're going to respond, because they're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's it. I need this. That is my problem. They can solve it. Woo! Solution. You'll get so excited. So use ChatGPT for that. Another AI tool I wanted to tell you about is called Contentware. Why I like this tool, and we use it a lot when we're promoting our podcast, or if we have a client who's promoting a webinar, or maybe you're going to go to a trade show. It is a great AI tool because I'm able to go in. You can say whether it's a landing page or a direct link. I put the URL that we have. So ours could be the podcast. I put it in there. I give it a title. I give it a few hashtags, and I click. Then it says, could you give us 2 to 3 very clear, concise summary sentences about what you're promoting? So the podcast, I put that description up there. I hit next. Now it goes, it's looking through our podcast, it's looking through those summary notes, and it goes and it creates a series of social media posts, usually about 20 or so social media posts. And it also creates an email for us, all about our own piece of content that we have with our summary description. So it's created social media posts, it creates emails. Drum roll, please. The best part is it then goes and schedules it out. So it puts it right into your calendar, and it puts it in the calendar based on your preferences. So if you want your LinkedIn post to only go Mondays at 3 p.m. and Thursdays at 9:50, that's what it does. It puts it right in the calendar at the right time. Same with the email. If you want your emails only to go Sunday afternoon at 4:30, that is the only place that it'll show up on your calendar. Again, my little warning is every piece that they create, so all 20 social media posts, the email, you have to go into each one. or your team. Have them read it over. Make sure it is on point with what you're offering, but make sure it sounds like your specific brand, has your voice and your tone. The example I like to use all the time is if they create something that says, "Hey, dude, you should check out this piece of equipment." People will know that's not me. I'm not really a, "Hey, dude," kind of person. So they'll be like, "Donna didn't write this. This is AI generated." But go in and tweak it. And because it is your content and because you gave that summary description, it speaks more specifically to your offer. But what I like about the scheduling out is because at the beginning, before you start, you say, okay, this is for a 3-month period. And you can tell it whether you want to promote it hard, medium, soft. I think it might be low, medium, high, whatever it might be. But I can say, okay, I want it to be low because I just, with our podcast, I don't want to bombard people with the podcast. But I also don't want, and this is something we were guilty of in-house, is we would have a podcast episode come up and we would promote it. And then that was it. But meanwhile, we were sitting here with all this great evergreen content. Yeah, you start to realize how much great content you already have. I think sometimes we get in our head like, oh, we need to create more. We need more, but we need more. But okay, have you looked inside? Have you done a content audit of all the content you already have? And if you have, are you actually still using it all? Are you promoting it out regularly? That was our issue. So we would promote it once and then that was it. Well, everyone is not sitting at their desk waiting for the B2B Marketing Excellence podcast to come across their desk. I got to send it a few times because they might be on vacation. They might be out to lunch. So we send it another time just so they don't miss it. So I like Contentware a lot. It also works quite well for us because I'm able to integrate it into our HubSpot platform. So here it goes. It creates the social media posts. It creates the email. I can select the image. It schedules it out. I check everything over. My team checks it over, makes sure it's spot on, changing around things as we need. And then I approve it and I send it off to our HubSpot account so that everything is there in one place. That is Contentware. And I like that platform. Descript. Descript is another platform with AI tools I do believe people should check out. Right now, we all know video is extremely popular. But how many of us mess up when we're doing a video? I know I do. I don't always say words right, or I get tongue-tied, and a lot of times this is going faster than this, so things don't match up. But what you're able to do with Descript, one of their AI features is they have an overdub feature, meaning, let's say you do the whole video, but you totally messed up one whole sentence and you want to take it out. You're able to highlight that sentence, correct it, and also then have the overdub feature so that the corrected words are in my voice. Because I've already done a pre-recording on Descript for 30 minutes. I think I had to sit there just reading a script that they had so that they could understand my voice when I get excited or maybe when I'm sad or maybe when I'm just want to talk. They were able to pick up all those emotions so that when you do the overdub feature, you can have your voice put in, but put in properly, because it wouldn't be great if it was something like, wow, today is going to be a great day because it is the biggest celebration of our year. And if it's monotone, you don't get the full effect of what I was trying to say in the video. But that feature is great because if you did an interview with someone else, instead of having to call them back up or record it a second time, you're able to go in and use their AI feature, the overdub AI feature. The other great AI feature that descript has, and this one I use a lot, is when I'm at trade shows, and I love showing people that I am on the ground at certain trade shows. This is important because I tell my clients all the time, I go to these trade shows to speak to vendors, but I also want to see how certain pieces of equipment work. So I go to these trade shows and maybe I'm filming a piece of equipment, I'm zoning in, or maybe I do meet a vendor and we decide to do a quick little interview where I ask them a question about the show. But show floors, there's all this noise going on in the background. Well, I'm able to do the recording, upload it onto Descript, and then with their AI feature, they have an audio booth. I can click on that. So what that does is it gets rid of all the background noise, and you literally feel like I am in an audio booth taping this, so that my guest and I are having this quiet, private conversation. But meanwhile, we are in this big exhibit of 50,000 people, but they're able to hear us, but they still see that we're on the ground at the exhibit hall. So I love those three features. Another one, and then that'll be it for today, is Pod Squeeze. Pod Squeeze is a great one for us with our podcast. I'm able to upload the podcast, or really any video where you've recorded it. It gives you a transcription, just like Descript transcribes your whole thing, but they give you a transcription, but they give you timestamps of important topics. They give you quotes so that if you are interviewing a guest and they come out with this great quote, it's not like you've got to go back over the whole video to find that great quote. They're able to pull it out there. They also can, from your own podcast, your own words, your guess, put together a newsletter or an email, and it's all done. It also helps with show notes. That was always a tricky thing for me, is trying to get a real handle of the words to describe the different interviews I had with people. And so Pod Squeeze has helped with that. So those are 4 different things I've mentioned to you, AI tools I've mentioned. Of course, a big issue is tech debt, and you don't want to run into that. And so I put together an Excel spreadsheet where you go and you list down your AI tools. You say what kind of tool it is. You tell what that tool does, the cost, but then you also have your team put in, how much do we use it the first week? How much do we use it the second week, the third week, the fourth week? So that you can monitor that, yes, this is a tool we've got to continue paying for because we are using it. You don't want to sign up for these tools, even if it is, only $20 a month. You still don't want to be paying for tools you're not using. So you monitor it that way. But now you're starting to see that a lot of tools are implementing Chat GPT into their own tools. So you're seeing tools start to overlap, and you've got to watch that. And so I write that on the chart. I keep track of it. And I say, how much do these overlap? Do these overlap with other tools? And if so, what percentage? Because that's when you can start to say, okay, we have these 10 tools. These 3 overlap. This one, not so much, but this one, yeah, you know what? Let's get rid of that tool. You're going to have a spreadsheet like this because there are so many different tools coming up. I recommend that you test them out, try them out, make sure they work for your specific company. So keeping track of your company's mission, your goals, because obviously my goals are different than yours, and we need AI tools to fuel our goals. And that's why I always go back to mission, goals. How does this AI tool help? and then making sure that the AI tools don't overlap. If you have any questions for me on this, as you can tell, I'm kind of passionate about it really because we all need to help each other figure out which tools are best. Please feel free to reach out to me or you can comment below. I always read the comments. And what I'll do once I finish here is I will go and I will list the URLs for these different AI tools, but I'll also put a link in there for this worksheet that I created. I found it easy. It's just a simple Excel spreadsheet, but it's something to get you started with. Have a great day. Bye.